In this video I'm gonna show you how to create this beautiful crochet stitch pattern. It is a combination of yarn over slip stitches, half double crochets with single crochets, and made in the back loop only or the front loop only. So it's a really nice textured, quite stretchy crochet stitch. So get your yarn and your hook ready and let's go. So you want to start with an even number of chains, like this. I've done just 10 chains. And then starting in the second chain from your hook, so not the closest one, but the second one, we're going to make a yarn over slip stitch. And this is essentially a slip stitch with a yarn over at the start. So yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, pull through 2 of them, like this. Again, so yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, then pull through 2 loops. And that is a yarn over slip stitch. So you can keep going all the way until the end of the chain here. Alright, and when you get to the end, chain 1 and turn. And for this second row, we're gonna work into the back loops only. So if you look at your work from the top, you can see that you have these V's that make up the different stitches. And we're gonna work into the loop that is furthest away. So this one right here. And we're doing yarn over slip stitches once again. Just like the row before. I can zoom in a little so you can see what this V looks like. So this would be the back loop. And when you only have 1 stitch left, I like to go into the center of the stitch instead of just the back loop to prevent a little gap from forming. So I have 2 loops on the hook right here. And then just a regular yarn over slip stitch. Like this. Then chain 1 and turn. And now we're gonna work into the front loops instead. And so we're gonna look at our work from the front like this, and then it's the lowermost loop right here. This row is probably the trickiest in the repeat, but it gets easier the more you practice. So this loop is the one we're going into now, and we're still doing yarn over slip stitches. So right there. Alright, and go all the way to the end of the row. And just like before, for the very last stitch, I like to go into the stitch so I catch 2 loops here. And I forgot to say, but the front loop, or what I call the front loop, can also be known by some as the third loop. So, and now we're chaining 2 and we're turning. And this is gonna be our first row that isn't yarn over slip stitches. We're gonna be working into the back loops again. So we start with a half double crochet. So, you yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. Like this. And now we're going to make a single crochet into this half double crochet. As you can maybe see, we have these 2 like bars or straight lines down here. I like to call them the legs of the half double crochet. And we're going to be working into the left one right here. And if you're left-handed, this would be the right one. So you want to insert your hook into the left leg of the half double crochet and make a single crochet. just like that. And that's our first stitch, or our first combination stitch. Then we skip one and we work into the back loop of the next. So yarn over and insert your hook, yarn over again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's a half double crochet. Insert your hook into the left leg and make a single crochet. And we keep on until the end of the row, where we finish with just a half double crochet. So we don't do the single crochet into the last stitch, because that would cause an increase. And we want to keep the stitch count the same. So right here I only have 2 stitches left, and since we're skipping one, it's essentially just 1 stitch left, which is just a half double crochet. And as always, I'm going straight into the center of the stitch for the last one. And there we go. So these are essentially our 4 rows that we're going to be repeating. I'm going to show you just one more time. So chain 1 and turn. We're doing a row of yarn over slip stitches now. And since we're looking at this from the wrong side, we're going to be working into the front loops. When you're looking at the work from the right side, you're going to work into the back loops. Okay, so a row of yarn over slip stitches into the front loops only. And the 4-row repeat is yarn over slip stitches. If we start with this row that we're making right now, it is yarn over slip stitches, front loop only, then yarn over slip stitches, back loop only, then yarn over slip stitches, front loop only, and lastly we have the half double crochet plus single crochet, back loop only. And also, as always, for the last stitch, I'm going into the center of the stitch so I catch 2 loops at the end. And before each new row with a yarn over slip stitch, we're only chaining 1 and turning. But before the rows with the half double crochets and single crochets, we're chaining 2 and turning. And these chains never count as a stitch, they just help you turn. So for the second repeat, we're doing yarn over slip stitches, and since we're looking at this from the front, we're doing them in the back loop. Alright, so if you would keep going for a while, and if you used a different yarn and hook, you would end up with something looking like this. So this is the same stitches, the same stitch combination and 4-row repeat that I just showed you. It's just with a thinner yarn and a smaller hook. So this is what the stitches look like. And I hope this little tutorial made sense and that it helped. Let me know otherwise. But a good rule of thumb to know is that if you're looking at the work from the right side or from the front, then you're working into the back loops. If you're looking at it from the back, the wrong side, you're working into the front loops. And you're always doing 3 rows of yarn over slip stitches and then 1 row with the half double crochets plus single crochets. Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping now. So I hope you liked this video. And thank you so much for watching. Happy crocheting!